Hey guys, Taylem here, and welcome to the next episode of my Skyrim modding series. The first part of this video is going to encompass RaceMenu by Expired and Omega 2008's Customizable Camera. These are two very important tools used to configure your game and set up your character exactly how you want it. In part 2 of this video, I am going to give you an in-depth comparison between the races in vanilla and the racial appearances that will be in my Skyrim Let's Play, utilizing suggestions from Skyrim Revisited, as well as my own personal touches and mod choices. So please stay tuned for that part of the video, but first, let's jump right into Expired's race menu. Alright, here we are in game inside Expired's race menu. Now this is very different from the default race menu. In fact, let's take a look at the base vanilla game race menu. As you can see, it's terrible. It has very limited in the amount of options. It's often sluggish. You cannot move the camera to get a good angle on your character. It is just overall absolutely terrible. It was one of the worst parts about this game, especially on the PC, and people pined. They begged for it to be changed for the first several years of Skyrim, and then finally when Expired dropped the race menu, everybody cheered in very loud, very applauding voices. I was one of them, because it allowed for such great customization of your character, as well as inspired several SKSE extended add-on mods to the race menu to further advance your character. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a brief overview of all the categories present within race menu, just so you can have a good idea what the mod offers and why you should use it, because honestly there's no reason why you shouldn't use it. You use it at the start when you make your character, and very rarely any point beyond that, unless you decide you want to change your hairdo or you want to add a war paint or remove a war paint. But beyond that, this just gives your initial setup of your character an amazing versatility for appearance and customization. So in the first category, we have the races of Tamriel. Now each of the race has their listed starting bonuses. Like on Nord, we have bonuses to block, light armor, one-handed smithing, speechcraft, and two-handed. Now this of course can change if you have any mods that alter those starting values. It should be reflected here. It also gives a little summary about the particular race. And in the body section, we have the basic change gender. You can swap over to female and back to male if you want. We have the various presets, skin tone, which of course you can change the darkness of your skin. Now certain races can go darker or lighter or have different textures than others. And then weight handles your muscle mass and girth. Like for males, it mainly just thickens your torso and your arms, whereas female, it also adjusts the torso, breast size, and arm size. Now in your head, of course, you got the standard complexion, dirt, war paints, ear size, etc., etc. Much of this stuff is from the standard race menu, but it is much easier to access here. But there are some features that are not available in the standard race menu, such as face part, and neck size, and forehead fix. This is to allow further customization of your character's bone structure and appearance that far exceeds that of the default race menu. Now, I often don't use most of these options, to be honest. This is for people that just love character customization and treats this as if it's a game in itself. I just don't. I'm pretty simple. I'll spend a little bit of time just to get a general basic look, but I pretty much leave it at that. The eyes is the same thing. Now the eye color, let me see, with the Eyes of Beauty mod installed, we have 118 different eye options that you can have. Now let's go ahead and zoom up here. And you can see he has blue eyes right now, but now they're purple. That's kind of yellow. It's like an ice blue. It's what kind of a hazel blue. That one's pretty interesting. But there was just a wide range of eyes. Just about every eyes that you could want is available at your fingertips. Look at that, it's like steel gray. Now the brow, of course, there are several new brows installed via the brow mod. But as you can see, there's just a huge amount of variety. Look at that, 61 different eyebrows. That is just a huge amount of eyebrows to choose from versus the standard, what, 8 or 9? There's just a huge amount to choose from. And you can change their angle, their depth, their mouth shape, chin depth, hair. Now this is the amusing part. For the males, there are 102 different hairstyles, which is far more than the default vanilla. This is through the KS hairdo mod, I believe, that I have installed. It's K something, I believe it's KS. I will link it down below once I find out if that name is accurate when I'm done with this here. Now the females, I believe, have even more options. Much more options. So there's pretty much a hairstyle for just about anybody here. There's of course the standard vanilla ones. And then you get into the more extravagant hairstyles that, in my opinion, are not very lore friendly, but some people really don't look at hairstyles as a definition of what is lore or immersive. But, you know, it's to each their own. I won't ever use any of these crazy Vidal Sassoon hairdos, especially with beanies that don't exist in Tamriel. But hey, there's one or two of the minor short-haired ones, like this one, that really is acceptable within the time period. But I would imagine the individual would have to come from a very wealthy family with access to the creme de la creme of the stylists found within Skyrim or Tamriel in general. And in the extras here, we have something that has to do with features standard to races, like the Nord one here. Looks like it bolsters the bone sizes. The half-elf automatically begins to sharpen a lot of the textures. Yeah, I'm beginning to look like a young William Dafoe. And the Briton here looks like it pinches the textures even more. The dark elf. Oh, get some really... Okay, there we go. How sexy is that? As you can see here, you can really just go overboard with some of the changes, so you really have to be careful with what you do, but it's all changeable and all reversible. All you have to do is set the digits back to 0, and it will be back to defaults. And let's just get most of these at least somewhere around 0. There we go. My cover GQ character. Now in the expressions, you can also add some expression to the default face of your character. I mean, if you want to walk around with a quizzical look all the time, more power to you. I personally don't use these, but hey, the option is there, as well as changing the various colors for laugh lines, eyeshadow, and more and more and more. I mean, there is just, I mean, body paint, hand paint, foot paint, body scales, you know, beast to change the tail sizes for the Argonian and the Khajiit. There's weapon placement for the bows and for the bolt holders and for the quivers. Magic poses, I mean genitals, for the love of God. There's a category specifically designed for genitals. I have seen everything, my friends, right here. Oh, race menu, gotta love it. Now, most of these are dependent on you having the plugin extensions for RaceMenu installed, which comes standard with the download package, and there are several other mods available for this. And those links you can find on the RaceMenu page or by searching on the Nexus. Alright guys, I hope this can give you an insight into RaceMenu. I do recommend that you use it, and I will be using this, of course, to generate my character. In fact, I may make an entire video all on its own, designing my character for those who want to watch. Alright guys, this is Taylem, and I will see you very soon, because now we're jumping right to the next mod. Fooled you, didn't I? Fooled you into thinking we were done. We're not done. Sit back down. Alright, let's take a look at the customizable camera. Okay guys, this is the default view of Skyrim. It is your typical action camera with your guy standing more to the left, giving you a wide view to the right, thus making the game look broad and deep. It's a pretty good perspective, but a lot of people, maybe not a lot, I mean, I'm one of them, don't really favor this particular view and would like to change the camera. Now, typically, the only way to do this is to do it in the INI files where you tweak some of the camera settings, but there is actually a better way and a way that you can do it in-game. Let's go ahead and go to the MCM menu and to Customizable Camera. Now, here is a wide variety of options. Let's go to Presets. There are 3 different presets. All of them do something slightly different. Let's go to Center, which is the one I love to use, and boom. It basically centers your character directly in the middle of the screen, and I like it. For me, this is how I prefer to play. It is just more comfortable for my eyes, and I just favor it absolutely in every way. Now, the game does have some pretty cool other features here in Customizable Camera. What you can do is you can do adaptive sneaking, which basically lifts the camera just a little bit over your head to provide a better view while sneaking versus just looking straight ahead of you, which makes a lot of the world seem very low to the ground. Which, especially in first person, this is extremely noticeable. You can change your field of view. You can change your distance mode height. Let's change it to 100,000. Let's see what kind of craziness. View mode height. Okay, let's see what kind of craziness this changes. Oh, holy Lord. As you can see in view mode, which is the G key, let's put that right back to my character. You can actually change how far you zoom out with your character in view mode, and look at that. That is just... that could potentially damage your game, so be warned about using it. Just FYI, but don't set it that high. Because as you can see, the effect on your game is pretty bad. I mean, I'm back to normal here, just fine. But the zoom out is really bad. So you'd want to probably set this to something a little more manageable. Let's say about 6,000. Let's bring this down to about 72. Let's see what that gives us. There you go. Now you can get kind of a more panoramic view of the game. And the area around you is pretty rendered. So you don't have to worry about getting crazy far and basically ruining your immersion. I mean, it's not like this doesn't ruin your immersion though. I mean, what do you have, like a remote controlled drone? Oh, right through a windmill. But anyway, it's just a fun little feature that comes with Customizable Camera. You don't have to use it. Or you can just set it to its minimum settings so it's not too obtrusive for you. Alright guys, I hope you consider using this mod. It is going to be in my load order for the playthrough. Now, they don't list it on Skyrim Revisited, which is fine. It is a stable mod. I know a few mod authors that use it, and there really isn't any problem with it. It just adds an extra ESP to your load order, and if you are under the limit, there's no reason not to use it. There we go, Customizable Camera. Alright guys, now let's take a quick look at the differences between the vanilla characters and the final product in the game. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Please consider giving it a thumbs up if you liked it. Toss a comment down below with any questions. And if you're not yet a member of the community, please consider subscribing to my channel. Alright guys, and please, if you use any mods off the Nexus, always endorse. And I will see you in the next video.